Hi everyone, welcome to Homerino Collectibles, and today we're going to be taking a look at the DC Comics Multiverse Batman vs Superman Batman, and this is part of the Collect and Connect wave that makes the Grapnel Blaster replica, as you can see there on the front of the box. Now, basically, this is a new line from Mattel, which is basically, it's not all that new at all. It's just a collection of all of their lines. They're just bringing it all together. Be very wary when you're picking these guys up, because there are actually other 6-inch figures in the Multiverse line that do not come with the Collect and Connect pieces. They're in what looks to be a bit more cheaper packaging. It's more kind of a blister card as opposed to in a nice collector's box like this. And basically, they don't have as much articulation and they don't have as much good paint. Basically, that is the wave that there is actually an Aquaman in. So make sure that you recognize the difference between the two before you go ahead and try and pick these guys up. I really do like these boxes. They have a nice little bio on the side. On the back you can see that grapnel launcher, which it is actually really, really nice. So in this wave we have Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman and Armored Batman. I have them all. So I have these three right now. Wonder Woman is on the way, but she will be here probably by the time I have gotten through those 3 reviews, so I should be able to review her not too long afterwards. And here is Batman out of the packaging, and it does actually look a lot better than what I thought it would. Now, I do have a problem really with the grey part of the suit, and that is that it basically, it shines, and you should be able to see it pretty well on the camera. It kind of shines a lot. It's not like super metallic or anything, but it kind of has a sort of pearlescent feel to it. I can kind of see some like blues and purples in there, which honestly, I have no problem in terms of a Batman figure. It looks fantastic, but in terms of the actual film, it is a very matte, very dark grey suit, and this is just a little bit too bright for my taste in comparison to that suit. But before we take a look at him in closer detail, here is the Collect and Connect piece that we get. It is basically one of the sections of the base, nothing too special. So yeah, back to the figure. The design of the figure, as you can see if I stand it next to a DC Universe Classics Batman, the scaling is about the same. It stands a little bit taller actually. It's just over 6.5 inches tall. So essentially what we have here is this design of suit mixed with this body mold, and then mixed with, put in the wrinkles and stuff of a real life costume, and that is essentially what we get for this figure. I mean, let's take a look at these two together right here. I mean, it's an absolutely fantastic, kind of real life interpretation of that design, and I absolutely love it, and this is one of my favorite Batman figures. It was also actually my first review. But back to Batfleck himself, we have, texture everywhere on this suit. It's a massive upgrade to previous Movie Masters. It's absolutely fantastic. One problem with the texturing is just that on the head, it looks a lot more like snakeskin. It's a lot more textured than what we get on the gauntlets or on the boots. And then it doesn't carry on to the cowl, so it just kind of stands out a little bit there. From certain angles, it does definitely look like Batfleck in the suit, in the overall design of the sculpt for the whole body and also for the head sculpt itself. But then I do think that in certain angles, the head sculpt does let it down in the way that something about it, I don't know if it's the eyes or the mouth, but it just looks like a 3 3/4 inch figure, to be honest. It just doesn't look as detailed as it could be. But then you look at it from other angles, especially a bit further away, and then all of a sudden it does look a lot more detailed. So I don't really know, it's just one of those things. And they didn't actually use this plastic for the Armored Batman from what it looks like in the package, and honestly they should have swapped him over, because that one actually has a darker grey, which would have been better for this guy. We also have some gold dry brushing on the knuckles, the tips of the boots, and also on the buckles and pouches on the belt, which does carry around onto the back as well, which all looks very, very nice. The cape, it won't hinder too much of the articulation in terms of crouching and stuff, because it does bend quite well. In terms of the articulation, there is a hinge in the head. Unfortunately, it doesn't really move all that much, and it kind of comes back down onto itself. So really, it's mostly just left and right. Your shoulders are going to come up this far and go all the way around. We have a rotation in the upper part of the arm. Due to the size of his arm right there, obviously you can't really rotate it too much when it's right up close to him. But it's whatever. It looks really nice and accurate, so I'd rather have it look good than just be really small muscles but then get better articulation. We have a single jointed elbow and then just a rotation at the wrist, so nothing too special in terms of everything really, in terms of DC Universe Classics type of figure. The ab articulation, though, you know, it's not all that great, the crunch. We do have a waist swivel right here. The legs come all the way out to the side. That kind of gaping hole of the DC Universe Classic days still around. Legs don't move forward all that much, but they do actually move back even more. Single jointed knees, rotation the upper part of the knee, and then the feet go up and down. So still no ankle pivot in these figures. And yeah, one problem that you will see is he looks great right now with his feet angled outwards and everything. It looks like a nice striking pose. As soon as you bend the knee, yeah, his foot's like out to one side, so there's literally no way that you can actually get his foot pointing forwards. So if you want to display this guy, you know, walking upstairs or something, it's going to look really, really awkward with his leg out to the side like that. You know, really he needs some kind of a thigh swivel, not a swivel right there at the knee, or maybe even a boot cut or something so that you could move that foot around. DC Universe Classics articulation is perfectly fine, but it is kind of outdated, and this figure does kind of show that. It's nothing bad, he looks fantastic standing there, but, you know, just little things like that, just with the feet kind of being out to the side and stuff like that, doesn't happen to normal people. If you were to lift your leg up right now, your foot would be pointing straight out. But it definitely does make up for it in just the general overall way that it looks. It definitely captures the aesthetics from what we've seen from the trailers and whatnot. And honestly, you know, the detail, the level of detail in the sculpt, which I know probably isn't actually sculpted, it's probably just digitally rendered and whatnot and pretty much printed out into molds. But you know, it does look very good, and they have captured the likeness well enough for a decently priced 6-inch figure. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a like, and if you want to check out more pictures of anything else from my collection, go ahead and check out my Instagram. It's Homerino123, and the link is in the description below. And for more Multiverse, Batman vs Superman figures, and also anything from DC Collectibles too, go ahead and subscribe. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.